Hello creatives, welcome back to the design studio where today, thanks to you guys helping me with the survey, we're going to be working on a Victorian Christmas wreath. So if you know me at all, you know I love vintage, I love retro, and so it's been a while since I've put one together. I've been making them as custom orders for people who wanted a specific color palette to match their home or their decor. So today I'm going to show you how to put one together. But before we start, if you decide that you want this tutorial, super simple, just click that share button. It'll go ahead and save this tutorial to your Facebook page where it's so much easier to find it. Also, if you want to be notified whenever I go live and you don't remember what my times are, if you click the like button and the follow button to this page, you will be notified whenever I go live. Now, the like button's easy to find. It's the follow button that's a bit hidden. So if you click the three dots off to the right, it'll open up a sub menu. You can click follow, and then that is your key to how you follow any of your favorite designers or tutorials that you want to be notified whenever they go live. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that we're in the correct group. Also, YouTube subscribers, you are watching this from an earlier tutorial on Facebook on Thursday, October the 19th, 2023. So if you want to take part in the Facebook Live, head on over to my Facebook page, KatsCreationsNMore, and I'd love to have you join us in a Facebook Live. But for YouTube subscribers, if you want to get notified whenever I upload a new video, just click that subscribe button, either right next to or right underneath the video or in the upper right-hand corner, and you'll be good to go. So let me go ahead and make sure I can read comments here really quick. I just saw it. There we go. And click on this. Move this over. Hi, Carolyn, all the way from Burlington, Ontario. Welcome. Hello, Betty. I'm going to go ahead and pivot you guys down so you can get that overhead view. It'd just be like if you're standing here in the studio with me and you're standing completely on my opposite side. So then this way you can go ahead and watch how everything gets put together. Hi, Diane. Welcome from Georgia. Glad to have you back. So you should be able to see everything. My primary thing is to make sure that you can see these measurements down here at the bottom, because I have a tendency of working on the lower half of my screen versus the upper portion of my screen. So I'm always working down here. Hi, Cheryl. Welcome from Ontario, Canada as well. So let me go ahead and show you. So we did a vote and asked, do you want to go green Victorian or red Victorian? We're going to be making both, not today, but we're going to go green today. This is our sign, which is a 13-inch by 9-inch Merry Christmas sign done in gold. It's kind of like a creamy yellow, but I'm going to go with more of a cream color. So cream, gold, and green will be our color palette for this design. You can pick this sign up at Craft Outlet if it's still available. I'm not sure. We're going to be using the 14-inch Dollar Tree wreath frame for this particular design. I've already done the first 5 for you. So we're going to work on this last section. And I'm just using green pipe cleaners today. So a question I got asked, a question I got emailed but not necessarily asked is, where do you get all your colored pipe cleaners? Well, the great thing now is a lot of the online retailers are starting to carry these. So Craft Outlet, the Wreath Shop, Kringle Designs. You can pick them up at Hobby Lobby, which is where I used to get most of mine. And then where I had gotten most of mine was from Shinoda Design Center. So they came in boxes of tons of different colors. So we are going to be wiring the inside 2 rings with our first pipe cleaner. This just gives stability to your pipe cleaners so that they don't move around and you don't need to have glue. So I just kind of position this one right in between those 2 welds. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then we're going to do the same with the outside 2 using the weld and that first pipe cleaner we put in to try to find a midway point to the outside. We'll do the same on the other side. And then we are good to go. We have 6 pipe cleaners in the center, 12 pipe cleaners on the outside, grand total of 18. So we're going to go ahead and start with our mesh, and we're using what's called a fabric plaid mesh, and this is the color. So I already played with one piece of it just to see how well it would work. So this is an emerald green. It's a cream with a metallic gold foil through it. You can get this at Craft Outlet as well if it's still available. We're doing 20-inch pieces, so we're going to roll against the way that it came on the roll, and I'm like pulling about an inch and a half, not an inch and a half, half inch pieces. I'm going to take my finished edge. I'm going to do it here because this is where I started them. I'm going to place this right in the center, and then I'm going to give this a couple twists. Now I'm not sure, with the size of our sign only being a 13 by 9, I may or may not need the outside ones. I'm thinking I don't. So I'm going to go ahead and take these out. If you're not sure when you're working on a design, it's okay to leave them in. So I'm going to go ahead and take these out, which is right where I finished twisting. I'm going to take that and tuck that back down into the center. And then we're doing this method that I call the next, which is simply, hey, you're going to put in your next piece of deco mesh right with the very next pipe cleaner that comes into play. So that's going to be one of our outside pieces. This particular type of mesh, because it is a fabric mesh, this has actual cotton fibers in it. You will not be able to cut this with the wood burning tool, so you will need to use a rotary cutter, which means you're likely to experience some fraying that happens. So we want to be really careful about that. We want to be very mindful about it. Really, the only thing you can do to prevent the frays, or let's just say not prevent, keep them from fraying anymore, is to pick up a product called E6000 adhesive spray, and then you can spray just your cut ends. But you're going to see, based on what we choose to do, we're going to try to minimize the fraying from happening. So as I'm making my transition into the next section, I'm going to take my end, the right side, and I'm just kind of placing that like right above and right below, because in each of our center sections, we have that middle piece that kind of creates a filler. As we do these transition sections, there's no piece in the middle. Can you add one? Absolutely. But with this particular method of cutting 18 pieces at 20 inches, you only need one roll of deco mesh, and you won't have any left over, depending upon how it's rolled. So we're going to take our ends, and we're always making sure that our raw edges are tucked, like you're just lightly folding them, okay? So that that keeps that away from any additional ribbon that happens to be there. I totally forgot to put my website in here. Hold on a second. Let me go ahead and do this really quick. Oops. Just making sure I spelled it correctly. I've done that before. Not spelled it. And then we'll pin it. So this wreath is available for sale on the website. This will be the only one that I am making with this exact design. So again, we're just gathering. You're just pulling your deco mesh towards you. It's about 1/2 inch sections. This is known as the ruffle, bow tie, scrunch method. So as I'm trying to get to that center one, you see that I'm pushing the right side of my mesh out of the way so that you can come in here and add in your additional piece. So now that we have this piece in, we've got to tuck it under the existing piece that was there, just like so. And here's our outside piece now overlapping on top of the existing piece. So I'm curious, what do you guys think of this color mesh? I've had this mesh for a little while. I don't know if I purchased it this year or last year, but I fell in love with it. And I thought, this would make a really good wreath for St. Patrick's Day. It'd also make a great one for Christmas as well, which is where we're using that today. Two twists. We'll fan that to the outside. And again, we're making that transition piece, so we want to have that one above and the one below. And then I always push my pipe cleaners when I'm finished to the left because I keep going to the right. Let's see, I saw a question. Vicky, do you place the pipe cleaners on the same place for all wreaths? I'm new to this. This will get you through, I want to say, about 90% of the designs. So whether you're doing poof, whether you're doing the curl and weave, this is my pipe cleaner layout that I place on the 14-inch Dollar Tree wreath frames. The only change that I would have to make is if I was making a pancake wreath, and then I would have to change the outside 12 that I have, because you use a third less mesh when you're making the pancake wreath. So I hope that answered that question. Hi, Christine. Welcome from France. Thank you for joining. Okay, now I'm going to use some of my tighter mesh, the ones that are closer to where the roll ends, because those are really tight rolls. And I'm going to use those on the inside now, because there's just a few of them that are really tightly wound. And because they want to roll back in that direction, the ends have a tendency of curling under, so we're going to put those in the center. Tuck that back inside. We want to make sure we get this under our outside piece, just like so. And we're all set to go with our outside one over on this side. And we're off and running again. Did your camera freeze? My video is frozen. No, on both sides it's good. Cheryl, try closing out the app and then come back in. And we have clear skies and clear weather today, so I should not have anything. Hi, Vivian. She says from LA. Finally able to join a live. Welcome. Glad to see you with us today. I think you guys are having some unseasonably warm weather there in California. I know that's where the majority of my family is. It's where we were. Not LA, but up in the Victorville area. Up in the high desert. So again, transition section, we're using those edges to kind of create a filler for the two end pieces. And this mesh is just so pretty. See, and this is why I use that end tool to hold it, because it's always going to want to curl back on itself. And we'll place this right on the inside. Place that over here, tucking our corners. And then we've got our center. So we're going to use a really tight one. Let's take the tightest one. This, you can totally tell. This is like the end of the roll. So we need some assistance to kind of help it lay flat so that we can get a really good ruffle on it. And the gold in the center is my guide, so I'm just staying focused on that as I pull my mesh forward. So we have to pull the existing piece out of the way. And then we're going to twist it about 4 or 5 times just to make sure it stays in place. Tuck that back to the center. And then we'll take our side piece and pull it back up front. And then we're ready to go with our outside. Thanks, Donna. Okay, so Bitty Bean says yes, it's 80 to 90. Not very fall-like. Thankfully, I think this is your last week. Because when I lived there, the fall weather in California didn't really start to kick in until the weekend of Halloween. That's when we would see a true change in the weather, and it would stay fall-like temperatures. Okay. So flip our ends over, create that spacing for our transitional piece. I can't wait to share with you the ribbons I got. And at first, I couldn't find one of my ribbons until this morning. I was like, I know I bought this ribbon in 1.5 inches. And sure enough, I had it in with my fall. Because it's the emerald green and gold, which technically could be used for fall. Two twists. Here's our outside. And then we're going to grab our skinny little piece for the inside. Our apples, I think, are officially done. So we are here on the farm. Our apple season has ended, and we will be preparing our garden for next spring, so we'll be winterizing that. This is our second winter in Washington State. I always get people asking, where are you from? Washington State. There's that one. Okay, and back under. Place this over, and then we're ready for our next outside piece. I think after this we have 4 more to go. So just take your time. I enjoy making wreaths. It's very soothing because you're starting a process with an image in your head of what you hope it's going to look like. And so enjoying the process from, laying your mesh, picking out your colors, designing your theme. And now we're doing outside, transition, and then we'll be doing it inside. Okay, so transition piece. And the diameter of your wreath is going to be dependent on how you lay your mesh. Like if you lay it with 1/3 towards the top and 2/3 at the bottom, it's going to be longer. If you put it right in the middle, it should average somewhere between 24 to 25 inches. Ooh, there's a fly. That was the fly that I think I killed that was here. I was like, he must have been on the counter as I pulled my mesh in. There we go. Alrighty, let's pull this in. And this will be this last inside piece. So you're going to see how full that looks. See where I'm saying this would make a really nice St. Patrick's Day wreath? The colors is that nice green and gold and white plaid. Let's go ahead and prep our 2 last pieces to squeeze in here. And there's so many different ways that you could make a Victorian wreath. You could put it on evergreen and use evergreen, but I would use a combination of all different kinds of artificial evergreen, not just going with whatever evergreen base you have, because I think it definitely makes for a nicer finished product. And we'll be doing those starting next week. Last piece. Here it is. Okay. This is always the challenge piece because you've got to squeeze it in to the littlest space possible, and then you've got to refluff everything around it to make sure your piece lays truly flat. So again, fold your ends. We're going to do the same thing here. Here's our existing piece from the other side. And now there is our finished wreath base. This almost looks like a fabric rag wreath, but it's not. This is your fabric plaid. Okay, ribbon selection. We're focusing on just the outside 12 because our sign's going with that 13 by 9. It's going to take up a lot of real estate here. So the ribbon choices for today are as follows. These are ribbons. So we are doing a 1-inch. This is a heavy velvet. This is the D. Stevens ribbon. You guys saw me use it on the 12 Days of Christmas. We used the red version. This is the emerald green with the thick gold cord to the outside. This is cut to 19-inch pieces. The only place I have found this has been at the Shinoda Design Center, which you have to be a wholesaler to purchase from them, and they're located in Southern California. And then we're pairing that with this gold filigree 2.5-inch mesh cut to 14-inch pieces. So those are the pairing for that. And then we are going with a green velvet with a gold foil edge, and we're pairing that with an 1.5 inch with the evergreen and gold balls on it, kind of laid out on a diagonal plaid. 19 inches for both the 1.5 inch and the inch. The 2.5-inch pieces are both cut to 14 inches. Where I got them, geez. The filigree was Craft Outlet. We talked about this was Shinoda. The top ribbon here is Hobby Lobby. The bottom ribbon, I believe, was Costco. And that was like Costco ages ago. Like well within 7 years ago. So we're going to alternate these. I'm just going to fold them in half so that I can know where true middle is. We're going to scrunch up. We're going to lay that right in the center. You're going to put your fingers underneath the ribbon closest to the pipe cleaner and then fan that out. We're going to take our inch ribbon. We're going to fold that so our dovetail ends meet. You're going to go up about 2 inches and scrunch it in. We're going to place this right on the front. Couple twists. I'm going to open this up. And then we're going to right side that gold to get the green to face up. Now this ribbon is extraordinarily thick. Matter of fact, my Dollar Tree scissors, the Betty Crocker ones, the ones that I've used forever, would not even cut that ribbon. And I'm not sure if I want to, let me look at something. A couple of these out and just see. Sometimes the balls are just not the right color. Oh, let's use those. So I'm going to put in these little gold balls. It's like a white with gold dust on it, and then we're doing the solid gold. These are scatters and fillers, and I got these from Hobby Lobby. They were not in the same package, but you can get like the gold just by itself. I think it has like 3 different size gold, and they're just little styrofoam balls with the glitter. So it's just going to bring that color palette back into all of this. And then we'll do the same thing here. Fold, go up the center, place that right on the inside, and this is what's called outdoor ribbon. So this ribbon can actually be used on the outside. It's got the, it's like a plastic backing to it. Taking the 1.5 inches, same way, dovetailed ends come up about 2 inches. We're going to pinch in. Give it a couple twists. We'll open this up. And then we always have to write that left side ribbon on the 1.5 inches. And I like to just pair these so that you can kind of see both. And then I'm removing the pipe cleaners to where I just have like 1.5 inches. And then we will do the same. We'll add that dusted gold with the true gold. Because see, sometimes you can never find true gold. It turns into like a yellow gold, and I want gold. So like some of my scatters and fillers, they have like that yellow gold, which I don't like. We're using more of the gold. See the difference? One's more yellow, the other's more gold. So that's what I'm using as we go all the way around. And I'm just going to do this and open up all of my pipe cleaners so that they are ready to go. Right up the middle. I love this filigree ribbon. Again, it's from Craft Outlet. I want to say it was this year, but don't hold me to that. It could have been last year too. The way the supply chains have been running, a lot of times like I'll order all of my Christmas in spring or like late winter for the following year so that I have stuff, because sometimes their supplies come in late and so we don't get them when we want them or need them. So I'm just taking a dab of Gorilla Glue and then taking my pipe cleaner and pushing it right through that dab of glue. That way once it cools, it will stay in place. It will not come off unless you pull it, and then it'll destroy the styrofoam ball in the process, but yes, you can get them off. But it just finishes that look a little bit. Okay. Again, fanning these out. Do you guys have plans for the weekend yet? Hi, Maddie. Welcome. Hi, Vicky. Hi, Shirley. I do love this mesh. I'm so glad I finally had a design I got to use it in. There's so many times I would pick up this mesh and I'd put it up against what I was working on. I was like, no, not feeling it. Not feeling like that is the one. I have way too much on this ribbon. I got a little aggressive and took probably closer to 3 inches on it. There we go. So always open, right side. Just like so. Hi, Linda. Welcome. Hi, Arvina. The velvet green and gold came from Craft Outlet. I'm not sure that they have it I think it's called filigree ribbon. And they have it in both 1.5 and 2.5 inch. It's just when I was going through the design portion, I couldn't find my 1.5 inch. So we'll be incorporating that into the bow because I found it last minute, but I had already made all of my ribbon choices. And this is really great quality ribbon. Very thick. It's got a really nice texture to it. It's got some weight to it, so it's not all wobbly. Okay, up, squish in. Like I said, this inch ribbon is really thick. I mean, wherever I set it, it will stay. It is that thick. Let's get the pipe cleaner on the top. And I was going to add green balls to this, but I was like, no, we'll save that if we decide to add embellishments. I did bring in some Christmas balls in all the same colors. How this one got way tucked down on the inside. It might have been one of our inside pieces. I took a fall drive up to Lake Wenatchee yesterday. Beautiful fall colors in the Cascades. Oh, I bet. I think we needed to do that. We want to get up to Rainier before the snow comes. And I know that snow's already hit up there, but we really want to see the fall colors. I'm just not sure if we'll make it up there before the next storm comes in. Robin, the mesh came from Craft Outlet. I'm not sure it's still there. I think I got it last year. It's just called Fabric Plaid Deco Mesh. Had that one a little too quick. Open, right side. And then always making sure. I wonder what our neighbor is cutting with a chainsaw. I can hear him. He might be cutting wood. People getting their wood ready. That's what we're going to have to do soon. We have a lot of wood left over, so might not need it for this year, but nonetheless, it's good to be prepared just in case you get a really cold snap. Oh, they closed the Chinook Pass in the winter? Yeah, I know. What was the question you had, Vivian? It kind of cut off. It just says, do you cut? And then that was it. I don't see anything different. I apologize for the sound of the chainsaw. My shop on the right-hand side, the walls face right where our neighbor is. So many people are making last minute. They're getting I think their spring to summer projects finished. So there's that. And he's done. Hopefully. Hopefully. Wow, I feel like felt like I just had like 3 or 4 of these left, and I'm like, oh, we still have. I think I am just 1 over the halfway mark, but we are doing a lot in each section. Oh, you hit return by mistake. No worries. Did you cut the fabric mesh with your rotary cutter? Yes, ma'am, I did. Had to. Ruth-Ann says, thanks for always sharing. I've learned a lot from you. I am from San Antonio, Texas. No cold weather for us. No cold weather here for us yet. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. This is an El Nino year. You guys might get your cold snaps down there in Texas. Don't know what the weather will look like this year. Okay, pinching in. Like I said, we're taking care of a lot. I mean, we're, in a sense, adding embellishments at the same time we're adding our ribbons and our half bows. A lot of people just do those in different steps. Like they would go around, put in all their 2.5 inch, they go around and add all their 1.5 inch, and then go around and add the embellishments. I'm just getting them all done right at the get-go so that we're off and running. But we might come in and add some additional gold balls if we feel like it's missing something or we need to incorporate a little bit more green. We can definitely do that. And he's back with his chainsaw. There we go. Off and running. Okay, let's get these ones out of the way. I think we have 4 more to go. Could be cutting down some of the tree branches that are our trees hang over his property too. We have giant sequoias, so maybe those branches are kind of a little droopy. You never know. Open. Right side. I love the green velvet. I think the green velvet really does hit that home run for taking this and bringing this into that Victorian look. Never cut this ribbon or that pipe cleaner. Okay, right in here. Alrighty, a couple more. I think it's a good blend. I don't think that we're like driving home the green point. I think once we add the sign, that's definitely going to tie everything in. It'll take a lot of this white space away too. And then of course, once we add our bow, I haven't decided if we're doing an upper bow or a lower bow. I'm thinking a lower bow. Because I love the filigree on the side of the signs. We'll see. We'll figure it out. Okay. Get that back under. Yep. That ball looks a little different. So I'm going to get a true gold. There's some that are a little bit more silver, but we'll stay with the solid gold. Okay, the last set of each. Now that we're in there with these last sets, it's like everything is vying for its own space. There we go. Open. Oops. Vivian says, do you think these designs would work on a Unique in the Creek board? I wonder if it would change the final outcome. Hang on a sec. Since they're so flat. Yeah, that would be the only thing, is that it's going to make it a lot more flat instead of fluffy. So it depends on what you're looking for. Like, I'm trying to think of, like, would you be able to do a ruffle technique? I know you can on a Unique in the Creek board, but the only way you could know for sure is to take one, cut a piece of deco mesh, right? Just one piece. And then what I would do is I would put that one piece into the Unique in the Creek frame and see what it looks like. Does it look like it's going to be a little too flat? And then go from there. You might be able to get that one to be a little bit more storm door friendly. That's how I would figure it out, though, if it would work or not, is just take one piece and try it. You know, I'd leave it, I don't know, though, if you would cut it the same length. I think you would cut it, you might end up going shorter. There's that. And last gold ball. Okay. So this is our final look. So this is what it looks like. And I know that, like, we're looking at that and going, wow, that's a lot. I mean, you can see the green predominantly coming out. And if you take your sign and you lay your sign right in the center, you see it's really taking up a lot of real estate. So it really takes away all that white and pulls all that green and gold back into the sign. It like marries that perfectly. Whereas this feels a little bit more like maybe St. Patrick's Day. Now it says Christmas. So this is what I'm saying. I think that is going to be a downward facing bow. So let's go ahead and move this. And let me put my lids on all those balls. Because knowing me, I will bump it and then off they go. So I can take this and set this over here and we're good. Okay, all the ribbon, all the things. Okay, well, you already know the 4 of them look like. We're doing this one. We're doing our velvet with the green. We're doing our inch ribbon, which is going to be on the outside. We also have our 1.5 inch with the evergreens and gold balls. We are going to pair that with a gold and ivory Swiss dot. I know it's a little hard to see. And then we're also pairing that with our gold filigree. So I did find the gold filigree. So you can see it does come at both, and that is going to be the layout of how it's going to go into our bow. So I'm going to flip these upside down. We're using the Bow Dabra for this one. For me, it's just the easiest method. And I think I'm going to put this at the bottom. Were we doing that? No. We're going to do this, right? I'm kind of looking at my order since now I changed it. Let me look. Because I don't like these. I think we're going to have to do this. We're still going to have to do that. Okay, never mind. So, we're going to take our filigree then. So dovetailing the ends is just taking your wired edges, bring those together. You're going to cut from your folded side down to the wired point. Now how high up on that fold you come determines how deep into your V you're going to get. And we're going with 10 inches in. Okay, we're starting with the right side fabric and then we're twisting it, sliding that whole thing right in between our Bow Dabra. We're going to go up and around and kind of guesstimate. I think that's way too big, but we want 5.5 inches. So if we take this, line this up with our 10-inch mark, when we go and pull this out, right now it's like 5 3/4. Now we're at 5.5. We're going to do the same on the other side. Again, you'll always see me bringing it back just to verify the measurement. And then back out here. 10-inch tail. We'll dovetail that. And then that one's done. Okay, that one is finished. Now we're going to take this green velvet. Robin said, could you do this using pancake style? You could. This is going to lay more flat. And then a pancake method, you're going to do, it'll be ribbon tails around the sign. So with the pancake method, it just might look a little different. You probably won't see much of the mesh. You'll see more of the ribbon, Robin, doing pancake. Okay, right in here. Again, dovetail. We're going to measure out 9.5 inches. We're going to gather. We're going to try to twist. Because like I said, this has that plastic back. So we're going to go up and over. I'm just making sure that we get a really good twist so that it's not all bunchied. And we need this at 5 right now. It's like 5.5. So we're bringing that way in. Okay. Up and over. Twist. Place that down. Let's make sure we're right at 5, which we are. And then we're going to attempt to lay that flat so we can get 9.5 inches and do our dovetail. There we go. Like I said, I think this came from Costco. That's why the tops and the bottoms are missing on this one. Because I could recall using this for outside wreath decor a couple years ago. Okay, now we are doing the Swiss dot. 1.5 inches. This came from 5th Street Studios. They have their shop on Etsy. It's usually the place I go to when I'm looking for a ribbon I can't find. I will usually try there. And then usually while I'm there, finding the ribbon I can't find anywhere else, I always try to hit their shipping minimum so that I get free shipping. So a lot of times I'll bring those in and order more stuff. So we're doing 9-inch tail with a 4.5-inch loop. We want 4.5 cap. Let me look. Yeah, we got it on that end. And sometimes your ribbon just does not want to lay straight. And 9 inches. Dovetail the ends. And that one's good. Joan, I'll have to watch this on YouTube as I've missed most of it. It'll automatically go to replay status too, Joan, right when we're done. Elda asked a great question. What kind of pins do you use to hold your ribbons? Well, this is what I found, is if you get the 1.5 inches, they're a little too long. I think these might be 1.5 inches. Let me look. Yeah, see, these are 1.5 inches. Look how long those are. That would have a tendency, the way that I'm pinning my pins, to go directly all the way through. So I've been getting just, were these, hold on a sec. Yeah, these are 1.5 inches. I've been getting 1 inch straight pins, and I get them from Walmart. They come in this little like flowery thing. Usually you get about 100 to 150 pins. So I just find that if you get them 1 inch, you're not going to have them like pop through the other side. So here's that gold filigree again that we used at the bottom. We're setting these up at 8.5 inches for our tail length. We're also going to go a 4.5 inch loop. And since we've already done it on our Swiss dot, you can just put fingers in both and then pull. This way you know they're both the same length. Oops. There we go. And then back out to 8.5. Dovetail the end. Okay, that one is all set. I thought I had. Yes, I didn't. You always got to make sure. I just like the ones with the balls on the end because it makes it easier when you go to pull them out. Okay, this one here, we're doing 8-inch tails with a 4-inch loop. So I'm following the formula. 8 inches, twist, up and over. We're going 4-inch. So let's make sure we're right at 4 inches. Same thing, up and over. 4, and then right at 8. Dovetail the end. Should have brought my nice cutting board back in. But now that we finally got it fixed, now it's starting to get cold again and it'll just split. Because knowing me, I would forget to bring it inside and then it would split all over. Just because the cold separates the wood. Okay, so this is our challenge ribbon. Because it is so thick, this is going to be 7.5 inches. We're going to pull it in, do a nice twist, up and over. We're going for 3.5 inches right there. Another nice 3.5 inches. It's just so thick. Okay, and then back out 7.5 inches. This must have like a 14 gauge wire on the end. It is really, honestly, that thick. Okay, we're gonna need green. So I'm gonna prep my pipe cleaner by bending it in the U. I'm going to compress as I lift, readjust my fingers, drop my pipe cleaner through. You can hold it directly at the bottom, and then I'm just going to hold the pipe cleaner but twist the ribbon. Because then you get a good nice twist on it without having to really utilize an awful lot of hand strength, which as you get older, your hand strength becomes less. Okay, now we're going to fluff. So you've seen me do this bow recipe before, and we're just going to, this is a 24 by 24 by 1 inch thick piece of pre-cut plywood with an 1.5 to 2 inch C-hook or cup hook. It just screws into the center. And so what this does is allows me to hold my ribbon on a flat surface for fluffing. I could do it on the cutting mat, but as you're maneuvering your ribbons, they want to slide around. So I need them to not slide. And since this is a bottom bow, we're taking all of our tails, and we're going to move all of our tails to the bottom. So see, having that C-hook in there allows me to pull and hold this so that I can continue to move everything down. I wouldn't be able to do this just flat on the cutting mat. So there's all of our tails are all down at the bottom. We are going to start at the top, and we're going to lift the top too, just like so. And on the opposite side, we're actually going to lift opposite. So we're going to put the velvet at the bottom, but the evergreen at the top. And then we're going to go to the next. I like bringing the evergreen to the center and the Swiss dot up. Here we're going to do it differently. We're going to bring our filigree up, just like that, and we're going to put our gold in the center. And then on the bottom here, we're going to go solid green down here, and the filigree up. And then here, we're doing solid green up. And then the filigree at the bottom. As soon as I can get the loops to open. Okay. And then you're going to just go ahead and fluff and put things in whatever order you want, wherever you want to see different colors. It's going to be up to you, your choice. And then for these tails, you're just going to simply run them through your fingers. Can't really do it with a thicker ribbon, but all this thin ribbon, we're going to give it some more life. And then the same thing at the bottom. And just pulling this back in around. And then we're just going to lay your ribbons in whatever manner you want to put them. There we go. Okay, now let me show you what it looks like, because it looks weird when you're building it from the side. But there is your gorgeous Victorian bow from the center. Okay, so we're just going to take this off the exact opposite way that we put it on. Move this out of the way. We'll prep our sign. So our business card is attached. We're going to remove the twine. We're going to grab 2 of our green pipe cleaners. We're going to bend those to where we have even lengths, just like that. I'm going to use my staple gun with 1/4 inch staples in it. I'm going to place this right on the outside edge. We're going to give it a twist. And just for maximum reinforcement, I'm just going to add a little dab of glue on both of those stapled ends. Not necessary, but why not? Do the same here. Again, twist. The only reason I twist is so they don't pull out. When I'm like trying to pull them through the deco mesh, when I'm trying to attach my sign, I don't pull my pipe cleaner all the way out. Okay, let's go ahead and get our wreath back over here. Like this, because there's so much glitter. I know the camera doesn't pick it up, but it's like glitter haven. Okay, bringing it over, we are going to grab our sign. We're going to make our sign come up here. So what I'm attempting to do is on the side, trying to find my inside pipe cleaners. So here's one. So I'm just going to readjust my sign's position. Remember, it has to go towards the outside a little bit because this is a 13 by 9. So I'm going to pull this in, but I'm also going to lift the deco mesh that I'm moving out of the way. I'm going to push that down towards the bottom. Give it a couple twists. And then do the same on this side. Here's my pipe cleaner. Again, getting everything all lined up. This pipe cleaner is going through that fabric mesh because it always gets stuck on one little thread. And then it just makes that so difficult. Seriously, one little thread. I'm trying to get it all unwrapped from my pipe cleaner. There we go. So now I can pull my sign down. And then rather than have that just such a bold oval, we're going to do what's called feathering that edge. We're going to pull some of our deco mesh here around that sign. Just gently pull this up so that we have those little wavy edges right here. Go ahead and do that. And all I'm doing is pulling up the mesh that's right here by this ribbon tail. Sometimes you pull up too much. And then if you need to, you can go back down in the center. And like this is a little too crazy and wild. There we go. Same here. It's just kind of all bunched in. All right. There we go. So this will get pushed back down. Okay. Overly clingy fabric mesh. So those edges really want to grab on to every little thing. Grab onto itself. And then this, like I said, you get it all situated where it's supposed to go. Make sure you've got your little feathered edge. I'm going to take this right here at the top. We're going to do what's called create a bow home. So I'm just going to take some of my mesh and tuck it underneath. So that right in here where a bow is going to sit, it's not going to sit on top of that mesh and push the bow up. We want to tuck that underneath so it doesn't interfere with our loops or our tails. We'll just move all these back down. Gotta find my pipe cleaner. So I'm going to use this as my center. So I'm just going to place that where I want it to wind up so that I know, hey, this is about where you want to attach this to your wreath base. So I'm working with one. I got both sides down. I'm going to push my bow down to the center, hold it so it does not sink. And then we're going to fluff everything back out, because now it's all laying directly where you want it to be. And move that over. Pull that filigree in the center. And then what I want to do to tie everything that's happening around the outside to the inside is that gold ball. That we have. I have a little bit bigger one. We're going to go ahead and tie that right into the center. Obviously you can tell this one's quite a bit bigger. We're going to add that right into the center. Let me spin this around so you can kind of see where we went with this. And this is your Victorian vintage Christmas wreath, filled with everything from gold balls, velvet, and everything else. What do you guys think? I'm going to go ahead and pivot you up. Hello all. I'm going to go ahead and take this wreath down off our door. And we're going to go ahead and put this one up and get this one all ready. So this, oops, it feels substantial. So it feels weighty. So that fabric mesh definitely adds, not weight, but it adds a feeling of value, because your fabric mesh is going to be a lot more. Also, your velvet ribbon that you have, I want to make sure that you have everything facing outward. All of your ribbon tails, your tips, everything is all facing outward. Spin you. Of course, I don't have it centered on my door. Now I do. Okay. Make sure we see everything. I think we're good. When I keep moving it again. Okay, so what do you guys think? I'm going to go ahead and zoom in on that so you guys can actually see that. Trying to make sure we can see the whole thing. That is our final design for Christmas. Oh, thank you guys so much. Cheryl says it's gorgeous. I love it. Vicky said it's elegant looking. Nice job, which is exactly what we want. Victorian was all about the metallics and the richness. So using things like gold and velvet would have definitely been something a little bit more natural. So that's it. We are down with this one. We will be, like I said, working on evergreens next week. So if you guys want, join me next week. I'd love to have you guys back. Other than that, have an amazing weekend, and I'll talk to you all real soon. Bye for now and keep creating.